on LeoAI, I spent the last kind of week, deep in the trenches on the AI front, mainly on the machine learning and the vector space. So I've kind of got my part done, and now it's being passed on to some back end stuff, and then the building out the front end. But the machine learning part is actually pretty much done now. So it's pretty exciting because I think I'm still pushing to have it done by the end of July. That's going to be the target for us. So yeah, I know that I've told you guys that it's going to be the chatting interface. So we'll have the AI chat, and then you'll also have some of those AI kind of supercharged features that I've talked about in the past. And I am going to do the model that I think Task and a few others mentioned, which is to basically make it available for free for the first maybe 30, 60 days, something like that. Anyone will be able to use LeoAI. And then after that, it's going to be premium only. So if you have a premium account, then you'll be able to use AI. So it's something similar to what Tesla did with full self-driving. We'll kind of follow the same model. But yeah, I would say probably by the end of this month, we'll have it rolled out in some form. I'm not going to say the whole thing will be ready and usable, but some level of AI features will be there. So that is the soon to your whens.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned that this to me, but you spent probably like the whole week last week. You spent like 16-hour days getting things ready for Leo AI, and right now the devs are ready to keep going with it, and you can focus on something else, right?
Yeah, exactly. I kind of had to shift. I mean, again, I was trying to hit that target to have it ready by the end of this month, so I kind of had to shift all of my resources from a personal standpoint to working on that, to kind of get the vector space part of things and the machine learning part of things actually ready. And then from there, it'll be in their hands to get us the UI and the back end and all the things we need to get to the rollout. But yeah, I think it was well worth the past week of efforts.
I'm getting some ideas from people in the threadcast. You know what? It would be pretty interesting for the community to share with us. What would you like to see the AI do? And then maybe we can get some ideas for that, or maybe some inspiration so that for the next iterations of the AI. Why don't you leave a comment in the threadcast telling us what would be your ideal feature for the AI?
Yeah, I would love to hear some feedback, and definitely some feedback before we even launch it, but also like when it gets launched, I'm sure you guys will have a lot of feedback on tweaks that we can do and ways to improve it overall. There's going to be, I mean, what we've really built here and what I've spent the last week on is that we've built a vector space that machine learns on the Hive blockchain, right? So it's all the data that's on Hive in this space, and LeoAI is trained on it, and it's also trained on kind of basically the same framework as like a chat GPT. So you've got like generalized knowledge, but then you also have like a specialized knowledge for specific to the Hive blockchain. So anything from threads to blog posts to comments on chain to upvotes, all of it. And then you've also got all the interconnections between those things. So like, how many times does, Eric comment on Mitch's posts? So you've got like a lot of crossover as well. So really the key here is that we're training this AI, it's already trained on the generalized stuff, but then we're training it on the specialized stuff. So the possibilities of what we can build in terms of features and use cases is really endless. It's just kind of our imagination that's going to limit us. So, if you dream up any good ideas, definitely drop them, tag them, #feedback. Yeah, just drop them whenever, because I'll be keeping an eye out for them. Ben Hass said, will there be an API? Yeah, at first there won't be. There's always an API technically, but at first the API will be only usable by us. So, the inleo.io UI will be the only one that can tap into the AI. And the reason, like one of the reasons for that is that using the AI, prompting it costs credits. So I've mentioned this before, but technically every time you prompt anything from like ChatGPT to Google's AI to anything, uh, there's a cost behind the scenes. And the way that these data centers pass on those costs is through credits. So when you're prompting an AI, each prompt you do has a, fractional pennies of, pennies on the dollar cost to doing that prompt. So we can't just open the API to anybody and say, here, you guys can use it as much as you want, because then, obviously we would eat those costs. So the workaround or the implementation of that locally on Inleo is to make it premium only, which basically bakes it in. We basically say that, on average, every premium member is paying $10 per month, 10 HBD per month. And, by doing that, we're able to cover our costs of LeoAI. So that's kind of how we do it locally. And I'm thinking up kind of a similar model for allowing other projects, especially on the Hive blockchain, who would be interested in having an AI that's trained on Hive, to use the API and use it for whatever they want to build. So like, for example, like Peak D, if they want to get some AI features, they could tap in to that API. But like I said, we would need some financial model behind that. Otherwise, it would just be unsustainable for us. We would be eating a lot of cost, depending on the usage that each platform has. So I've been thinking of a few different models for this. I would say at the top of my list are two models in particular. One is a credit system, which is essentially what, OpenAI and other platforms are doing, which is essentially, like there's enterprise credits. So they would just buy like, 1 million credits at a time, for example. And then they would pay us an HBD or something. So it would create another payment rail and use case for HBD, and allow them to just buy credits. The other option, and also, by the way, maybe both of these at the same time is a good option as well. But the other option would be to basically have like organization premium accounts, which is something that X has. So, X, I think they charge like $1,000 a month to be a premium organization. And if you're a premium org, you get, access to certain features that you can't get just from normal premium. So I'm kind of thinking between those two models, we could probably find a way to make it work. And like I said, maybe both models would be a good way to do it. And I don't think we would make the organization accounts $1,000 a month, but we would have to make it something that is economically feasible for us. And we can also have a ceiling on credits. So at first, I don't think we're going to have a ceiling on credits. And that's speaking both on the, person to person level, like, you guys as premium users. And then also if we end up doing these organizational premium accounts, I don't think we're going to have any limit on credits to start. But if we do start to see like, there's certain people that are just going way above and beyond, spending $100 a month in credits, in our credits that we have to pay for, then I think we will have to create some kind of ceiling on prompts, where like you can't go above a certain amount. And that's just, again, we have to make it economically feasible for us and also prevent abuse in certain cases. So yeah, that's also possible to have some sort of, and I think it would be kind of graded on a curve. So it would be a ceiling on credits like across the whole board, across all users and organizations. So we'll figure that out. But either way, if you look at the average user of like ChatGPT, for example, they're not using very many credits. It's actually pretty low. So that's why I don't even think we'll need a ceiling. I think it's going to be probably fine. But it's, again, something that you have to see in the live environment to know for sure. But yeah, and again, even if we did have a ceiling, it would be so ridiculously high. It would be like you could literally prompt the AI, every hour of every day with multiple questions, and you still wouldn't hit the ceiling. So this ceiling would be particularly for people that are just like hammering the AI, kind of on purpose. Like, I mean, I couldn't even really see a reason that you would be using that much AI resource.